Was it
Esther Roll? Yeah,
Esther Roll. They hated how the right was going.
We talking about a bunch of TV shows. Do you believe that there was a plan in effect made by somebody to take the black man out of black households? Let's start at the basics.
Do you believe in black men out of households?
Yes.
I think there was a plan that resulted in that, and they knew that that was okay. In other words, the plan was to lock niggas up, right? Locking people up through mass incarceration, criminalizing all this stuff, crack, all that stuff was going to lead to black men being out of the households. Do I think the end game of the people was to get black men out of households? No, I think the end game was to make money off of black people's exploitation. But they didn't care that the black men would be out of the house. They understood that wasn't. They all go together. It's like you know what I mean? It's all a big mix. And I think that black men out of the household is a dangerous thing. I think black women out of the household is a dangerous thing. You need everybody in the community. But I don't think that.
Whataboutism?
I think the plan was 100% to get the black man out the house.
Well, you would lose welfare and shit if there was a dude in the house.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
First off, you're not allowed to have a black man in the house if you're receiving assistance.
Yeah.
At that point, the family structure was man over wife, wife over, like it was structured in that way where most black families lived and guided their families through that.
I'm not
the only way now when you infiltrate and you add drugs to the situation, which you're now pushing to the black man, which is initially going to lead him to struggle and go through things. Yeah, that's a concise plan that I think they had steps towards how we get to the point where.
And there was never a time in history where the woman was out of the house. So I mean, that's like a pointless thing to say.
Well, no, I think that the drug epidemics, they didn't just affect black men; they affected black people. There was it doesn't matter if you were like black, a woman or a man. If you succumb to drug abuse when it came to the crack epidemic, well then yes, women were out of their houses and not
or they were home but not present. I mean, I think crack destroyed the black family, right?
Yeah.
And the criminal justice destroyed the black family. For men, it was the prison, and for women, honestly, there's a great book on this called "Evicted" by Matt Desmond. It was evictions. Men would go to prison and black women were getting evicted everywhere, and they created a housing crisis. So everybody had different issues. But yes, I agree with you. Like, black men got the worst of all this drug shit. I'm not disagreeing with anything y'all are saying about what happened to the family. I'm just saying if there were a mythical person in the room saying let's hatch up a plot. The plot was to replicate slavery, to say we're going to. The same way we made all this money and ran the American economy off of slavery, we're now going to reproduce it through prison.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. And drugs became the way to do that. In the same way that during enslavement, black men were pulled out in certain ways from their households and black women were exploited in other ways during that time. It's the same thing that's happening during this drug epidemic.
I feel like you paying attention or you repeating the jail part of your story don't necessarily answer to the welfare, taking the black man out of the house, removing factory jobs. Yes, jail is a part of it, and it's all
connected.
System.
It's just one cog in that whole
wheel, but the jail part is one cog.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
A plan appeared to be in place before mass incarceration.
So mass incarceration begins in the 1960s, right? If we think about it, in 1965, there were 280,000 people incarcerated. By 2005, there were 2.5 million people. So over that point, it kept growing and growing and growing. I agree, the criminal legal system is just one part of it. But I think the bigger piece of that over that period is that the state kept shrinking. So what the government basically does, again, to do the same thing I'm talking about, which is to expand money for a small group of people at the expense of black people, is to say everything that we did to give people a safety net, we're going to take away. We're going to take away welfare. We're going to take away Social Security if we can. We're going to take money out of public schools. We're going to deplete every single thing, even in public schools. We're going to make ketchup a vegetable so that we don't have to put as much money. Literally, Ronald Reagan made ketchup a vegetable so we could take vegetables out of schools. So all this stuff does the same shit. At the end of the day, that leads to men in prison, mostly, and women quickly following, and that leads to women being in fucked up spots and the labor market getting evicted. All this stuff is connected. I'm just saying the end goal isn't to break up the black household. The end goal is to exploit black people till there's nothing left and to make money. And that includes breaking up the household. That includes locking up men. That includes us killing each other. That includes drug addiction. I'm saying all that shit is part of a bigger plan, which is all about money. If they could make the money without us being locked up, they would. But there's just history shows the best way to do that is to hold people captive, and that's what they do, and that's what part of why I don't support the prison in that.